Elisa here. I want to ask you a question. Are you exhausted from working too many hours in the salon floor? But the thought of letting go of some of those clients feels really risky. Let me help you with that. I'm running a live workshop. It's designed specifically for the salon owner or spa clinic owner who wants to step back, right? But they don't want to lose the profit. So I'm going to show you how to transition those clients properly. I want you to grow your team's confidence. I want it to be slow and steady. And I want you to design a business that doesn't rely on you so heavily so that you can be the leader, right? So it's really important that you understand this transition, because if you don't, you can lose clients, get complaints, and you can lose the confidence of the team that are stepping up. And that's really, really important. Don't do that, right? Do not lose the team's confidence. So if that's something that you are interested, click the link below and I'll take you through the training. You're going to love it. It's really cool. Works every single time, I promise. Lisa here. Welcome to Salon Conversations. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the mural that I painted behind me, not quite finished. And as my sister said, when is art finished? I said, oh, I don't think it's ever finished, Marianne. I said, I think we just keep having a dab here and a dab there. So yeah, I don't know if it's finished, but it's finished enough. So today's podcast is around transferring clients. It's a big one, actually, because nobody wants to disappoint people. Nobody wants to let our clients down, the people who've been paying our wages and for everything for all the years, the loyalty. That's really difficult for the people pleaser. So what I'm going to cover off today in this podcast is where your hours are best spent, what I would do as a strategy to change that and why that's going to change everything. And about the hero owner, the owner of the business who's the hero and comes in and saves everybody and everything, how that creates teams without confidence. And I'm also going to talk about reducing your floor hours. That will force you to create systems, and that's a really good place to be. And the last one is freedom is a leadership outcome. It's not a reward. It's just the outcome of great leadership. So let's go through them one at a time. The first one is your hours are not your value. So I grew up in a time when it was almost a badge of honor to brag about how hard you worked, how busy you were. And I don't think that's the case now. I think people are much more in tune with a balanced life, a full life, a life that brings you joy. And I don't believe that young people today are boasting about the hours they work. I really don't. I think they're way smarter than that. And so they should be. Some maybe are working a little less. And I just feel like sometimes you have to earn that right to work less. You really do. And I think if you think you're going to open your business and not work really hard in the beginning, then I think that's delusional. But I do think that you have to step down and gradually reduce the time that you do everything for everyone. And slowly you just move things across. And the reason it is difficult is because when you've done it in a particular way and you've been across everything, it's kind of hard. Like it's difficult to let go and to know that a person comes in and out of your business that you don't even know, like you've never even met. You think, who's that lady? I've never seen her before. So it's a skill set, like any other skill set. You need to learn it. So it's really important that you do. But your salon will not grow because you're busy. Like that's not the way to grow a business. Working harder, doing more hours, taking on more clients, hogging the ball, as I would say, is the fastest way to get to a corner that you can't get out of. And I often say to people, burnout doesn't come from hard work. Burnout comes from no time out, no respite, no just time to relax, just do nothing. I've worked this morning. I felt absolutely exhausted. Part of it is because I did a very heavy training on my legs today, and anyone who trains knows that legs days, and I was absolutely knackered. So I just switched off and had a lie down. Probably nodded off, but I didn't really have a sleep. I just needed to chill out. Just chill out, people. And now I'm energized. Right? Now I feel brand new. I don't know what time. I think I had a lie down about 4:30 and I was back out of the room by 5 maybe. So it wasn't a lot, but just that ability to switch off. Everything can wait. I'm more important than anything. I really am, because I can't do a podcast if I'm exhausted and can't be bothered. Like, it's really difficult. So I want to give it the best, the same as you want to give your clients the best. But if you're tired and worn out because you're doing everything, I don't think you can give your clients the best. And that will catch up with you. So that's the first one. I think that the other thing is owners tend to confuse being like useful and helpful and doing everything. They don't know what's necessary and what's not. And I think when you continue to do everything for everyone, without you realizing, you can be sending a message that they can't do it and only you can. That's not a good message. I think some of the things that I learned was because someone believed in me, someone trusted me to do it, and I did it. And it wasn't perfect, but I did it. And I think that's a better message to send. Because if you're sending a message, oh, look, I think I better do that, what you're really saying is, I don't think you can. And that's not a good message. I wouldn't like to work for someone who didn't believe I could do it. That's how we all learn. And very rarely do we get it right first time. Be okay with that. So small little changes, small little see how they go, responsibilities, and then you get better and better and better. It's like, when you got children. Oh, I'm so sorry, going to sneeze. You don't ever ask a child to set the table when you're having a dinner party with fancy wine glasses and all sorts of things when the child's 6. But when the child is 6, you can say you can put the plates out, or you can put the glasses out, or you can put maybe you start with cutlery, something that isn't breakable. But what you do is you set the child up to be helpful, to succeed, and give them jobs that you know that they can do. And then as they get bigger and taller and they can reach the table, you give them more jobs. It's the same everywhere. It really is. Everybody's got to start somewhere. You did, I did, everybody. So that's really important. Every hour that you spend on the floor servicing a client, I think is a tax that you're paying. I call it leadership tax. If you're doing 30 hours on the floor, you're paying 30 hours leadership tax. It's a good way to think about it, isn't it? So we all got to pay tax. Well, we don't all have to pay leadership tax, but we've all got to pay income tax. But I think if you're doing, 25 hours, why don't you do 22 and strategically place those 3 hours into training? Like, that would make a big difference, like a big, big difference, right? So I think too often I see people going, yeah, I'm going to get off the floor, and it's a big job and they don't start because it's too big a job. And I'm thinking, just reduce by 2 hours, but don't waste those 2 hours. Either use them to look after yourself, do something lovely for yourself. But I think using those to train another person on your team, write a system, video how you want something done. If you use that really, really clearly and set yourself up to do something that will be an evergreen, this podcast is an evergreen. So this means that I make this podcast now. I'm taking the time to do it. But in the future, I can give this podcast to anybody to watch it, because I'm going to be able to use it again and again and again. And I don't have to say this again. I can say, go to this podcast and listen to that, then come back and talk to me. And with that, I'm going to stop and get a tissue because my nose is dripping from sneezing. I don't know what's going on. So hang on a minute. So another point 3 I've got here, the hero owner. I don't think the hero owner realizes what they're doing, because what they want to do is keep the peace, keep the clients happy, keep the team happy. And so when you swoop in with your Superman cape on and you fix things, maybe a client's not happy, you give her a discount, or you say, come back and I'll fix it. When you do that, and this is a hard one because you do want the client to be happy, but when you take it off a team member and fix it, that shouldn't be common. That should be really rare, because what you want to do is empower your team to feel brave, make mistakes, fix them, learn how to deal with difficult clients, and all of the above. When you swoop in, I think that's like swoop in. If you swoop in, and I think there's a cross between swoop and scoop in. Anyway, when you swoop in and you fix everything, you're also sending a message: you can't be trusted. You can't do it. Look, you really need me. I'm the only one who knows what they're doing here. And I know that's not what you are saying, but your actions are saying, better I do it. And I think quite often the team member goes, oh, you better do it. And that's not good, right? What you want is a confident person who says, oh, can you help me with this? Yes, I can help you with this. Can you do this for me? No, you're not learning anything. And I think some of us are born with can you do this for me? And some of us are born with, I can do that. Let me do it. Let me have a go. Let me do it. No, give it to me. I've just been teaching my sister to paint and she's done a great job, but she wouldn't give me the brush. I can tell you. I said, can I? No, I'll do it. Just show me. I'll do it. Very, very independent. My daughter's the same. The first sentence my daughter ever said was, I do by self. That was it. I do by self. Very fiercely independent woman in her mid-30s now. My boys, oh, you do, mummy. That was their first sentence. Twin boys, you do, mummy. I thought, yeah, you want me to do your laces up? You want me? No, my daughter, no, she can do it. I'm doing it. Like my sister the other day painting. We went to a pottery class, her and I. She's here in Bali, and you got to spin this thing on the wheel and that. Well, every time she turned around, I had the pottery teacher doing mine. I'm thinking, why am I busting my hump? No, she asked that many questions. I'm thinking, oh, seriously? Like, how many pots are you going to make? I'm thinking, if he can help you do it, like, why wouldn't you let someone help you? Is she wrong? Am I wrong? No, it's just we're different. We're just wired differently. And I think that when you understand that some people struggle to hand over and let people help, and other people are happy to let people help. I wasn't always like that. I'm a couple of years older than her, and I've just learned that there's no prize for killing yourself trying to achieve everything. What for? I don't care. Here, have a go. And he did it in like seconds. And then she turned around and hers is wobbling and mine's perfect. And she didn't say anything, but I know she was thinking, you're cheating. I go, yeah. Is it cheating? Is it smart? I don't know. I don't feel the need to do everything by myself. Very early in my career I did, but I've always been a person who lets other people do it. I don't know why I have been. I just have. I just think, and people who want to learn hang around me because they want to learn and they know I'll let them have a go. I'm not worried about that. Like, when I paint a room or something like that, I think, oh, well, we'll put a pot plant there. If I ever make a mistake and that's not very straight, the answers, we'll put a pot plant there. And oh no, my sister, she's got it straight. Even when she was setting out the sections for the dog, when you grid up the face, I was thinking, oh, how's this going to go? I'm thinking, it's just a guide, No, that's 13 centimetres and that was 13 a bit and that's 12 and a bit. And I'm thinking, okay, relax. Like, it really matters in some places, like across the dog's eyes and nose. It doesn't matter on the dog's chest. Use your eyes, step back. Like, I'm a visual person. I'm a hairdresser, I used to be, and she's a nurse. It's very accurate. You don't give someone a handful of tablets. Probably I would. Clearly I wouldn't be any good to anyone, would I? I'd say, I just have a handful. She's accurate. That's her career. She has to be accurate. You can't give someone a half of Panadol and then they get the fat half and the next person gets a little half. Well, that's what I'd do. So we're all different. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right, but when you take over and you're super accurate and you think it's got to be done that way, then I don't know, I think you're holding yourself back. Like, I think about the amount of houses I've renovated, built, moved on. Like, I don't even think about the walls and how straight the paint was. Someone say, "Oh, that was a lovely colour." I think, "Oh, what was that colour? What was that?" She goes, "Oh, it's a dark green." I think, "Was it dark green?" I just moved on. But she could probably tell you the colour of paint. We're different. She's not wrong. Of course she's my sister. Of course she's wrong. No, she's not wrong, and I'm not right. But if there's a problem that you can't let go or hand over clients, then you need to look at why. Why is that? Right? And if you hand over clients too quickly and it fails, why is that? Right? You can't go, "You can do it." And it fascinates me. Quite often, someone will come up on a day when their booking isn't, right? Let's say it's a Saturday morning, this client comes in, she's all happy, ready to have a facial and this, and then you look in the book and you think, "I haven't got you in." She goes, "What do you mean? I'm sure it's today." And she builds out her phone. It's a week later. Do you send her away? Some salons would. And if you couldn't look after, you would have to. But a lot of salons will rustle around and squeeze her in. They work like a team and they get the job done. So why can't you work like a team and get the job done when it isn't an emergency, when there's less pressure? Why can't you do that? That is how you teach a team. You don't only teach a team when it's all turned upside down. You teach a team every day, because when we can share the load, when we're all responsible for the outcomes, everybody wins. The client has more than one choice. You're not so stressed. Your team get to grow and expand while you're there working with them. Everybody wins. It's really important that you understand that people in your team are growing or dying. Nobody stays the same, right? And I don't want them to dying as in their skills are going backwards. The skills need to be going forward and expanding or shrinking. No one stays the same. So don't kid yourself, right? And I think that everybody finds joy in growth. Everybody. Children, whether it's setting the table, whatever it is, everybody finds joy in growth. At what pace depends on the person, but everybody finds joy in growth. So reducing your floor hours is around you having to develop systems, because if you're there and someone says, "Oh, where's this? Here it is. What do I?" Here, there we go. Here, when you constantly answer, then you don't have to have any systems. But if you're not going to be there, or you're going to be somewhere else, and they're calling you, "What do I do here? What do I do here?" That's a really good opportunity for you to create systems. So it's a fabulous way to just pull back a little bit, see what happens, and think, okay, if I had a system for that. Now, a system can be a written down procedure, wouldn't be my choice. A system can be a podcast like this. This is a podcast on how we rebook our salons, and maybe you don't share it with anybody. Maybe just share it with your team. So what is a podcast? It's a video, isn't it? It's a recording, isn't it? That's all it is. Put your show notes, how we rebook clients, how what the average dollar sale is and how we work on that, how we end the salon at the end of the day, how we pack up, how we start. All of those could be called recordings. They could be called podcasts. They could be calling training videos. But there's so much more to learn when you put it in. So someone can listen to the big version, might be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then they can see it written down, point 1, point 2, point 3, switch the lights off, make sure the bins are empty, close down the computer, whatever it is, and they can do that too. So we don't want them to watch a video for an hour every night to close the salon, but we also, if we put 3 points and there's not much explanation, that's not helpful either. So when they're learning and training, they'll watch the video, and then there might be just a really small laminated sheet that sits somewhere at the front that says A, B, C, done. That's it, right? So it's going to force you to create systems, and that's a really good thing. And the last one is freedom is a leadership outcome. Absolutely. It's not a reward, right? It's just what I think we go into business because we want to run a business in a way that we want to run our business. We want it to feel like we want it to feel. We want it to look like we want it to look. We want it to bring us joy. We want it to be our income consistent, steady, reliable. It's a great gift. But if you don't think of leadership as your ticket to freedom, then you're looking at it all wrong, right? And when you don't trust people, they feel it. You have to trust people. Small, little increments. Like I said, setting the table, putting the forks and spoons and the knives out. That's it. And then they can put that. And then, right? Terus apa in Indonesian is they say, and then what? And then what? So I'm going to do this, and then you say terus apa, which means and then what? Right? So what I want to know is what are you training someone on now, and then what's terus apa? And then what? You have to have a plan that says, I believe in you, this is what I'm going to teach you, and this is where we're going. And then it's not heavy on your shoulders that you have to be there. Most of you can go away for an afternoon. Most of you can go away for a day. Most of you could go away for a week. Anything after 3 weeks, a lot of people can't do that without checking in and making sure this is done and this done and maybe doing the pays and whatever. But there's no reason why you couldn't go away for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. The only reason you can't is because you don't have enough systems in place and you don't have enough people who feel confident that they can do whatever you do. And everybody can learn that. Everybody. Absolutely everyone. And that includes you. So hopefully that was helpful. If you would like to step back and you'd like someone to help you, to hold your hand, because you think, I've done it before and I lost clients and blah, 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 or you handed them over to people and then that person left and she took all you, like there's a lot, right? The Great Let Go is going to be great training that I think you'll really enjoy. We do it strategically. There's sections that you do it in, this section. Make sense of everything. Absolute gold. You're going to love it. So if that's something that interests you, let me help you. Absolutely, let me help you. Let me help you to empower your team. And the way you do that is you be a great leader. You're positive, you're energetic, you're excited. And when that energy comes through every pore of your body, people around you feel it, they just know it, and it's a win-win. So hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening.